All right, guys, today's video is an island update here. It is finally getting the job done. I mean, you can already tell by the camera, it's probably a whole lot greener looking than what it was. And I'm going to show you an interesting difference between over here and here. So if you remember from this tree over, I put straw out up here to create heat, introduce more organic matter into the soil, and I think you're going to see an astounding difference in how the island has responded to that versus the other side that I just generally sowed, throwing seed on top extra thick to get it to germinate. Of course, all this is tilled, but there is a big difference between this and the front half of the island. It's a tale of two cities, basically. So obviously I have got, mega sprouts, peas, clover, winter wheat, oats. It's all in here, cereal rye. Over here's a nice green spot. This is the first time I've ever got the back half of the island to actually respond and grow really well. Soil prep is a biggie here. This is one of the reasons why it is jumping out so quickly, even under cold conditions now. I'm constantly having repeated frost, and it is still overriding. And even the clover, which is in a really baby state right now, is still surviving and growing in these conditions. Now, yes, I do have, a little bit too much leaf litter in here, but it won't really phase it too bad. I mean, there's a couple spots like right in here where it's going to put a little gap in it or two, but overall, this is fantastic. So now, this is what I wish I could have videoed about sooner, but I'm getting rapid growth in here. The deer activity is rapidly increasing in here again. They have quickly found it. I sat over here in the box the other day hunting, and I had 6 does and a button buck back here eating on it. So it's actually getting to where I want it. It's just way late because of drought. Now I'm going to show you something a little different here. So initially, this strip right here already had dark colored soil in it. And I'm talking the type of soil that I'm looking for to make healthy food plots. Well, I put straw on this anyway. So you can see there is a line here, a rough line going this direction to where I had straw on the ground versus no straw on the ground. Let's go over here and look at this. And this had a head start. Remember, I had to re-sow the back half. So this had a nice head start, but look at how it's faded. It's still here, but it needs some very serious help. So what I'm going to do is come up here and add fertilizer to this half of the island and only add a very light coating of fertilizer back here. The less of it I can use, the better. But right now, in my head, I'm doing buck recovery mode. I need deer taking as much large bites as possible. This is not there yet, but this is much better than being lip high. Goal achieved on the back half of the island. Over here, we had no straw, which I will put out more straw over here now because of how well this back half has responded to it. So I've increased the organic matter greatly back here because I used, oh my goodness, I'd say I used that entire bale and half of another. And I still have half a bale and a full bale left. So I can come in here and treat the other half of the island with straw to help try to get the rest of this food plot to shape up. I mean, it's got green in it, It's just not the green that I'm looking for, although this half over here has done really well. On this end, this is actually doing well, but this is where I burned the brush pile, and I've got some really soft dirt right there to where the stump used to be. So I've still got a ways to go, but this is very encouraging. It may not look this, I mean, obviously it doesn't look how I want it to right now. This should all be a nice thick carpet, and the rock should really disappear under this, but it's going to give me the opportunity to remove more rocks, get some fertilizer in here, try to help some of these struggling plants right here where they're wedged in these rocks, give them a little more space, put some straw out here lightly to get this half going, and then after deer season is over, I'm going to start resuming the stump burning again and get this place ready for my spring and summer crop. I always try to stay ahead of things as much as possible. So day one, after the deer season is over, I will set out my supplemental feed again, and then I will start working on this place as long as I have time allotted for that. And some good news is I have a buck that has returned, and I was kind of nervous if he had gotten shot. And for those of you that want to review his video last year, it is already posted on there. I highly recommend you go check out the buck I call Poser, not Mr. Clean, but Poser. He is now a 4.5-year-old, and I have a neighbor who has been gracious enough to give me a picture of him, and he was right there, right on our property line. I have a video of him, but it is a very split-second clip. It is not a good video because that camera has some battery problems. I have since replaced them, and hopefully that has solved the problem. So I will post the picture that my neighbor sent me of Poser. He has made a big jump in the mass department and has evened up a lot more than what he was last year. So if you want to, please review the video where I say Poser at 3.5 years old, and you'll already see he has a big body for a deer in this region, and he just needs more rack to go with it, and he's much closer to that department this year, and hopefully he hasn't run himself ragged, and if he does survive, he might be a fantastic buck at age 5.5. All right, guys, so that's where I'm at with the island. Things are definitely progressing in the right direction. This right here should give anyone hope that they can turn their bad ground into something that can really grow some fantastic food for deer. Do not give up. Bad soil can be a battle at times. Stick with it. Keep adding your nutrition as necessary, and then once you get your plant cycles up and going, it's just a rinse and repeat at that point, and it should get better every year, barring your drought conditions or some crazy weather event or pest problems that arise. But I am super, super excited now. The island is now officially underway in soil restoration. This will really continue to thicken up unless the deer really, really hammer this down. And then when spring comes, this is going to look like a jungle in here, because I am going to make it look like a jungle and fertilize this in another strategic video later on. But next video that I'm probably going to post is buck recovery modes, because now we are off the peak of the rut and we are on the downturn, and bucks are going to begin to change their pattern and go for food. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. And since this is the beginning of, well, this is kind of year one here, I expect bigger things from this place in the future. You all have a good day.